Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this quick entertaining article titled 3 female guards at same prison jailed for affairs with their inmates. And guys, this story is coming from over in the UK, over in northern Wales I believe. And as it turns out, according to this article, within the last few years, 3 female guards were having relations with some of the inmates. And to no surprise, they eventually got busted, and now they're doing time for their little roll in the hay with the bad boys. That'd be a pretty funny one to go over here, guys, because I'm sure there isn't one of you that hasn't seen articles similar to this, right? Where they're hooking up with the inmates. They're smuggling in all sorts of things to them. In some cases, definitely some stories here in the United States where the female guards were an active participant helping the guy break out. And I even heard stories sometimes. I remember the one particular one helped break one guy or 2 guys out, and they were going to come off her husband and she was going to run away with them and that type of stuff. It's absolutely crazy, but this happens quite often enough that it's like, what the hell? But at the end of the day, we all know what's going on here. Women love bad boys, and women are nuts. In this case, it's one thing if it's your typical bad boy that's, hard to predict and is, hard to control, and he's you get the point, the usual bad boy material. But these guys are criminals. And these aren't guys typically that, got thrown in prison for a few years for, breaking into Best Buy and stealing a flat screen TV or stealing a car. These are guys that usually get put away for doing some pretty awful things. I don't need to elaborate. And these female guards are eating out of the palm of their hand. And so it never ceases to amaze me, this phenomenon. It's as old as time. And here you go. And they deserve to be put away. Absolutely. But here's the question that one has to always ask. Why on God's green earth do these prisons with male inmates have female guards? Right? It makes absolutely no sense. But then again, a lot of things don't make any sense. And we all know darn well it's probably because of a bunch of political correct bullshit, about equality and all that. But look what happens. Never ceases to amaze me. So I'll just go through this here. And when I'm finished, I'm going to read some comments. They're definitely pretty funny. And then at the end, I got a very quick story a guy emailed me about over the holidays about how he ended his relationship with his girlfriend when she wasn't going to give him the terms he wanted. And he handled it just the way he should. So, it says here, again, 3 female guards at the same prison jailed for affairs with inmates. It says here, Jennifer Gavin, 27, Ishaya Gunn, 27, and Emily Watson, 26, have all been jailed with at least 3 years for sparking relationship with prisoners at HMP Berwyn in Wrexham, Northern Wales. Notice they're all late 20s. 3 female guards at Britain's biggest prison have been jailed for having affairs with inmates, prompting extra training for staff to tackle the problem. You don't need extra training. It's like, don't fuck the inmates. And by the way, if you click on the article, which I'll include a post to, in my opinion, 2 of the girls, because they show mugshots of them, 2 of them, considering that they're mugshots and they don't have any makeup on, are bad-looking girls. And then they're going to show the thugs that they're with. One of the thugs looks like Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. It says here, and I'm not going to read all their names again, have been jailed within the last 3 years for sparking relationship with prisoners, blah, 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 which houses Category C adult male offenders. Their sentences have prompted corruption prevention training for more than 500 members of staff at the 2,100 capacity prison. Gavin of Wrexham, I can't pronounce these places in Wales to save my life, was jailed for 8 months in December after pleading guilty to misconduct in public office at Mold Crown Court for accepting £150 to smuggle a mobile phone into the prison for inmate Alex Coxon, 25. Well, how do you think all the different contraband, if you will, gets into prison? The drugs, the weapons, all sorts of stuff. Where do you think it comes from, really? It isn't just from the family visiting them, slipping it in through with a hot dog or something. A court heard she sent photos of herself to him on Snapchat and kissed him during their relationship during April and July 2020. The relationship came just a year after fellow officer Ishaya Gunn, 27, had a fling with a dangerous inmate, and I can't pronounce his name, who's 29. So this has been like one after the other. You think they'd learn their lesson? Nope. That being drawn to the bad boy, and you all guys, I'm sure every guy here has a female, a sister, a female cousin, a girl they've worked with, friends with, acquainted with, that will talk about the bad boys, some very bad boys, borderline thugs, and they always babble on about, oh, he had a poor childhood, or oh, he's damaged, essentially feeling bad for him, seeing his potential, a fixer-upper, and they fall for the bullshit. Now, let's be honest here. A lot of the guys end up behind bars. They definitely are physically tough guys. Not all, but a lot. And they had that masculine, take charge, dominant, that's the keyword, dominant, presence and energy that attracts women at the end of the day. And they don't get that, majority of the guys out there. The problem is that they are also thugs and have done pretty awful things. And yet these boneheads go for them. Now, I'm not saying that men aren't stupid too, with our impulses and listening to the other head down there. But generally, we're not going to get involved with prisoners, criminals, and all that. But one could argue that some of the gals are criminals. We do stupid things, but these gals do take it to a whole new level of absolute stupidity. And they deserve to be behind bars. But I guarantee you, their time in prison is way less than would be if it was a male guard having relations with female inmates if he was at a all-women's prison. I guarantee the guy would be put away way longer. And that's bullshit. Goes on here, says the criminology and psychology graduate made numerous S-word phone calls to him while he was serving a 12-year sentence for conspiracy to rob. A search of Gunn's bedroom reveals snaps of the pair kissing and hugging, with mobile phone pictures taken in his cell. Nothing ceases to amaze me. Gunn, who was jailed for 1 year at Mold Crown Court in 2019, also smuggled in a pair of knickers for the prisoner inside her bra, the court had heard. The third prison officer, 26-year-old Emily Watson, for a second I thought it said Emma Watson, was jailed at the same court for performing a SCX act on an inmate in his cell. Man, this is quite the prison to be locked up at. Watson spent so much time with John McGee at the prison that the staff soon became suspicious and launched an investigation. Well, if they walked down the hall and they saw her sucking his you-know-what in the cell, yeah, they have reason to be suspicious. Mold Crown Court heard that they'd been alone together in his cell on 3 occasions, when she performed an SCX act on him twice and had intercourse once. I guarantee it was more than once. Watson of Huddersfield was jailed for 1 year in April 2019. They're all getting 1 year, or the 9 months. If the situation was reversed, and this was a guy with a female inmate, 10 years, done. The prison service said the most recent independent inspection into HMP Berwyn found security arrangements were good. Prison staff are being vetted every 10 years, and the service is piloting social media checks for some higher risk roles, such as prison officers. Enhanced gate security has also been introduced to deter staff from smuggling illicit items behind bars. Yeah, but they'll still find a way to smuggle things through, either to be paid or because they're in love with the inmates. A prison service spokesman said the overwhelming majority of prison staff are hardworking and dedicated, and we will not hesitate to punish those who break the rules. Well, if 1 year in prison or 9 months is punishment, that's not really going to change things compared to these impulses. And I guarantee you, at least one of those gals probably thought, it's worth it. It's worth it. A year behind bars for my man. My damaged, misunderstood man who's behind bars is only using her to get stuff or to get some action and pass the time. It would drop her like that once he got out. It says over 500 members of the staff have undertaken corruption prevention training in the last 18 months, and our enhanced security is protecting the prison against attempts to smuggle illicit items inside. You don't need to waste your time and taxpayer money on the training. Just let's have just a men being security in this prison, amongst other things. So that's the end of the article, and it's a quick one, but that'd be pretty funny to go. And nothing ceases to amaze me anymore at all. And again, the old bad boy type of thing. Now here's some comments because they're definitely funny. One guy says here, and he's quoting, he says, prompting extra training for staff to tackle a problem. What extra training is necessary? Let me do that training for them right quick. Got a cold today, guys. Bear with me. He says it is against the law to bang inmates. If you're caught, you'll be thrown in jail. There, I just saved them thousands of pounds of training cost. Exactly. No female guards. You don't do this and you're going behind bars. Now the guy says you're equal rights, right, everybody? Why not put female guards in male prisons and vice versa? What could go wrong? Now the guy says here, he goes, I was a correctional officer for 7 years, about 25 years ago. This is nothing new, and I'm not surprised. If you knew how prevalent this is, you'd be amazed. How do you think drugs, cell phones, and other contraband get inside? People are going to hate this, but that doesn't concern me. Only men should work in a male prison and females at a female prison. You would still have dirty officers, but nothing like you have now. Right. And this is a guy that did this years ago. He said he did it for 7 years, 25 years ago. A guy with experience. Another guy says here, happens a bunch, and if you're a male correctional staff member, you will get the maximum sentence. For some reason, women just get a slap on the wrist or probation quickly. Criminal acts is a criminal act, and it does not matter who does a criminal act. Equal opportunity employment and equal justice. Yeah, well, it's all bullshit. And one more guy says, naughty and sneaky creatures who prefer criminals than good men hope they rot in jail. They will always prefer the bad boys over the good guys. And one more guy says, nice looking women, what a shame to chase after losers. Something about the bad boys women like. Now they're going to go to prison and have a record. And you know what? They're not going to care. That is the end of that. Now I'm going to read this quick story this guy sent me for all you guys that like my regular stuff and like to hear about guys that learn about RP ways and stand up for themselves and don't waste their time when some gal doesn't go along with the plan he wants. The end is the relationship. This is a good one. Real quick. This guy says here, hello SSM. I'm not too certain when I subscribe to your videos, maybe late 2020, early 2021, but they're an excellent listen on the way to and back and from work. So thank you for your hard work and all your channel. To cut a long story short, I'm a 26-year-old male, and I've broken up with my girlfriend, a 25-year-old female. I'm about 7 months on this 2022 New Year's Eve. Things have been going well, even with her pushing me to propose to her since this October. That is crazy. You're with her 7 months, and she's been pestering you 5 months into the relationship about proposing to her. 5 months? That isn't shit. She can put on a total act of showing you who she wants you to think she is. You shouldn't even think about that at all. At least 5 years. And not to mention the fact that you're 26, but still you should be older. How in 5 months or 7 months or a year are you supposed to really get to see what she's like? What she's like in communication skills. What she's like when tough life events hit her. How does she handle that? How is she really with money? She can hide massive amounts of credit card debt amongst student loan debt from you, and you never know, and propose to her. What are her friends like? Are they a bunch of wild carousel riders that rub off on her? Or are they more decent people? What's her family like? They have a good relationship? She loves mom and dad? Everybody loves each other? Or is there fighting and drama? You don't find this out in 5 months. You can get an idea. You need years. So it's insane that she's pushing for this. But it's not insane to her, but it's insane to the rest of us and insane for any guy to go along with this. I had to say that, guys. I know I went really overboard there, but it needs to be addressed. As well as things have been going, I've had a pit of dread in my stomach for the last 2 weeks, and I told her as much when we talked on Christmas Day. We agreed to talk further when I would go visit her over New Year's weekend, so we did. To boil down the conversation, I brought up a plan for us to live together for about 2 months to determine while we lived together. What would our combined costs be, etc., before I would consider a proposal to her. I'm glad you had the sense that, okay, we should live together and see what we're like, but still, you shouldn't move in with her after 7 months. That's way too soon. You need way more time to even consider doing that step. The moving in thing, let me make this clear, guys, because I know a lot of you guys listen to me for good advice. You need years with her first. Then when you really think, after seeing what her family's like, her friends are like, how she is with money, how she is with spending, communication skills, if you want to get married and you're older, then you do the moving in thing as the last thing to see what she's like when you live together, because, that it's a whole different ballgame when you move in with them. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But even then, they can hide things. Not moving in like that quickly and only for a couple months. Then you got to live with her for a little while. I make that clear. She rejected it. Shocker. Saying that this would ruin her reputation with her family and community, offering alternatives that would still end with us not living together at all before getting married. Well, if there's something you want and someone's not going to live up to what you want and give you terms you don't want, you walk away, just like a business deal. And watch this. I rejected her offer, and it became obvious to me that we were not going to agree here. She would never live with a man before marriage, and I would never marry a woman that I did not live with. Okay. And notice she said she didn't want to damage her reputation with her family and community. This is a 25-year-old girl in 2023, is she not? You all know what I mean. After some silence, she asked me what we were going to do for the remainder of the day, and I, after thinking about it for a few minutes, told her that I was going to leave. As I got up and collected my things, she asked if this meant we were done, and I said, yes, we were. Well, bro, I'm sure that wasn't easy, but you know what? You're at an impasse. It's not going to work. And in my opinion, she wasn't going to let up about the whole getting married thing way too fucking soon. And you weren't willing to do what she wanted. It's not going to work. There was no screaming, no tantrums or throwing things around the room. We just quietly got our things, and I drove her back to her parents' home where her car was. I politely thanked her parents for the hospitality they had showed me, shook both of their hands, and left after collecting the sweatshirt I had loaned my girlfriend. I've already blocked her on my phone and social media, as well as deleting any photos I had of her. I'm going to go spend the New Year's with an old friend of mine that I don't get to see very nowadays. Happy New Year's, SSM, and thank you for everything you do. Bro, you handled that well. And I'm glad you had the sense to get out of there and realize this is not going to work. And blocked her in social media and all that, and got rid of the pictures so you don't, like, in a drunken moment, look at her pictures and start missing her and thinking, well, okay, maybe we don't have to move in together. No. It's not going to work. And I'm glad you handled that and walked away. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to hear from her again. Guaranteed. First, you're going to hear from her again. I don't know when, but you will. And she's going to try to get you to change your mind, give her a second chance. And when that doesn't work, then she might try to say, okay, I'll move in with you again. But then, even if she does, don't do it. It's not going to work. She was pressuring you 5 months in your dating to propose. That's insane. Okay? And if you think she's going to stop, that's bullshit. And what would happen is you got back with her. If you didn't propose, probably what would happen is either she would have broken up with you for somebody else, or suddenly there was an oops, I'm pregnant accident and some way to rope you in. This is just a bad idea. And you both are different backgrounds, different places. Don't get back with her. Okay? It may be tempting. You may have that moment when you're drinking, might want to drink and dial. Don't do it. Okay? But like I said, guys, many times, I want to, again, come back to this. You guys that do relationships, and particularly guys that are in their 20s, the 20s is for you to bust your ass to establish yourself, to make something, set the groundwork for you making yourself something in this world. Not chasing ass, okay? And yeah, he wasn't chasing ass. He had a girlfriend there, but you were on the same page. Your top priority is your career. Pursuing. If you're younger, early 20s, you're pursuing that degree in college, if that's a degree that's going to pay a return on your investment, something there's the demand for the skills, pursuing a certification or whatever it is, and something that you can have a good job with, and getting experience in that and establishing yourself at that company or whatever, putting away money, investing it. The earlier you put away money and start investing it, the more it can grow over time, that type of thing. Maybe getting yourself a house, a condo, whatever, all those things, growing as a man. And then maybe later on, when you're approaching 30 or 30s, if indeed you're a relationship guy, and if for whatever reason you may want to get married, then you can start thinking about that part. But there's no rushing into things. And if you're with a girl that's bugging the shit out of you about proposal and everything, it's not a good place, okay? Because remember, gentlemen, you can always... If you're relationship guys that want marriage, maybe you're more traditional, religion, whatever, you can always do it in your 30s or 40s. It doesn't matter. Because remember, your 30s and 40s, your 30s is when a man's prime begins. I mean, really, it does. I don't need to explain. You get my point. The late teens and 20s are the girl's prime. The man's 30s is his prime. The problem is a lot of guys settle before their prime really begins. And a lot of women pressure guys to settle before their prime begins because they know their prime is coming to an end. So don't do that. So, bro, good story here. You handled it well. She's going to come back to you. I'm telling you right now. No, you don't have to be a dick about it. Just say, hey, listen, didn't work out. We're in a different place. Wish you all the best. And then she won't leave you alone. Then you can, be an asshole if you have to. But don't get back with her. Focus on your career. Focus on your purpose, your grind. Make something yourself. You can do relationships your whole fucking life. No rush. All right, guys. I know this second part probably went longer than the first part about the prison girls, but it is what it is. All right, guys. As ever today, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the whole first story with the prison guards and all that. And also let this guy know in the comment section how he handled things right. Let him know in case he's doubting himself, because he wrote this to me about over a week ago, and I'll make sure he doesn't go back to her and make a mistake. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.